Hello. Um, I haven't written a powerful message in a while, and I just channeled through something very powerful about how, most people make the argument that God wouldn't want trans people to transition, but in this piece, I argue the opposite, that it is God's will for us to transition. And I hope you find this inspiring. I used to believe that I shouldn't change anything about my body because God doesn't make mistakes. And I used that logic to justify being transphobic and to perpetuate the idea that it was wrong for trans people to change their bodies to align them with their gender. Now I use that same logic to argue for the opposite. Not that I subscribe to the conception of the Christian God anymore, but I believe that God didn't make any mistakes when they made me. They gave me this body, and they also gave me the experience of being a woman in a body that didn't match my inner experience. God made no mistake in making me trans, and it would actually be disrespectful to God's gift of free will for me to not honor my inner experience by actively denying myself the opportunity to make changes to my body that would result in my inner experience matching up with my outer expression. God's love is unconditional, and yet our society, particularly Christianity, has perpetuated the lie that God would only be happy with us if we follow a certain set of rules and live our lives in a certain way. Jesus dined with the tax collectors. Jesus dined with the Pharisees. Jesus dined with them and loved them exactly as they were without judgment. Isn't the point of Christianity to follow in Jesus' footsteps? Jesus died for everyone, not just those who follow a set of rules in a book written by many men. If Jesus were here today, he would rebuke all of the so-called Christians who have perverted Jesus' message of love and acceptance into one of hate and vitriol, just as he rebuked the corrupt religious leaders of his time. It's sad what this religion has come to 2,000 years after Christ walked this earth. God made me a trans woman, and they didn't make a mistake in my creation. God also gave me free will so that I could make the courageous decision to express myself truly and authentically in all of my awesomeness. Jesus would want me to pursue the physical transition to womanhood because God desires for us to live in our most authentic expression. I've known I was a woman for as long as I can remember. And I only forgot that truth because society forced me to, in order to survive. God has reawakened the truth that I knew so deeply so long ago, and I know in my heart that God is beyond thrilled that I am finally accepting the truth that they had placed in my heart at such a young age, which had sadly been repressed and forgotten. Now that I know the truth of my experience and the truth that God meant for me to physically transition into a woman in divine timing, there is nothing that can stand in my way, for God is by my side, leading me forward in their divine plan for my destiny to unfold. Mic drop. That's all I gotta say.